Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's technical run-through. I'm just so grateful that you're here. I know that this weekend is exciting for all of us as it is a movement weekend. I pray that this finds you in the midst of all the stuff you're doing for that, and that it really supports you moving into this coming weekend. So we have Movement Weekend on Friday and Saturday, and what's awesome is out of that, we actually have two special guests who are joining us for the weekend who will also be here on Sunday. So we will have our guest worship leader, Mac Brock. You guys might know him. He was formerly like the chief of worship at Elevation, leading the songwriting and crafting the sound of that house. And now he's doing a solo career and really just making waves and creating a whole new rhythm for worship. So he'll be here leading with us for 3 songs this coming Sunday, and we'll talk about the flow of that and everything. And then we also have Jabin Chavez from City Light Church in Las Vegas. He'll be preaching at Movement Weekend, and then he'll be joining us right here at our Sunday worship experiences. So let's go ahead and hop into this weekend's cue sheet. I'm going to give you some notes at the top of that cue sheet. That way you can be better prepared of a couple small changes that will feel like big deals, but I promise you they're not. You just got to reframe your mind. So let's go ahead and hop into this Sunday's cue sheet. So this is the cue sheet for August 4th, 2019. So we're going to do, obviously, our pre-service playlist and our 5-minute countdown. But what I want you to know at our receiving campuses, everywhere except for Fredericksburg, at our receiving campuses, typically on a Sunday right now, you are following the point-to-point stream for Living as One, and you are even launching LifePoint Fredericksburg's 5-minute countdown. This Sunday is going to be different. I need you to launch your 5-minute countdown locally. So the times for your 5-minute countdown to launch during the 8 a.m. service would be at 7:58. During the 9:30 service would be at 9:28. And during the 11:15 service would be at 9:13. So once again, you're launching your 5-minute countdown locally at receiving campuses at 7:58, 9:28, and 11:13. If you're at LifePoint Fredericksburg, this only pertains to you, but you need to know this. This coming weekend, we are starting services here 30 seconds early. Why are we doing this? We're starting services here 30 seconds early because before song 2, we're giving Birch the opportunity to introduce Mac Brock to the room, and we're giving him a 30-second spot to be able to do that. So this is also the reason why campuses are local firing their 5-minute, because the great thing is, with us just starting early here at Fred, by the time that song 2 begins, we'll be back in sync. But if you were to follow the synchronizing point of the 5-minute countdown sent from Fred, you're going to be all out of whack, because by the time your campus is ready to pull point to point, you're going to be 30 seconds too early. So once again, campuses that are receiving the stream, you will be starting your 5-minute countdown locally. 7:58, 9:28, and 11:13. So, and then another thing that we have communicated to our campus pastors, campus directors, and stage hosts is in the service closing at the end of the service this week, they have 1 minute, and the whole purpose of that is to wrap up the day and send people off in a rallying way. So if you're seeing in your services that that's not happening, it's taking way longer, feel free to give feedback to them that we need to make this more fluid and more effective. Worship directors, production directors, please have those conversations and hold our peers accountable. Awesome. So moving past the 5-minute countdown, we're going to open up this weekend service with Keep Shining, which is one of our awesome LifePoint worship original tunes. Super high energy. Is going to be really great. Out of Keep Shining, here at Fredericksburg only, Birch is going to introduce Mac Brock. Everywhere else, you're just going to flow into song 2. Song 2 is going to be Greater Things. Greater Things is an original tune written by Mac, which is an awesome opportunity to have him leading in our house. So out of Greater Things, we're going to go into the welcome. So campus pastors are come on stage, and if you're here at Fred, they're just going to do a normal welcome. But if you're at a receiving campus, something's going to be different after the welcome. We have a little bit of a different flow. Campus pastors or hosts or whomever is actually going to be introducing Mac there. So receiving campuses, Mac will be introduced in your welcome. So after the welcome, instead of going welcome into song 3, we're going welcome into news. So this weekend is a lot different on what our normal service flow has been, which is why it's very important for you to pay attention to what I'm saying now, what we're doing in this video, and referencing Planning Center for the cue sheet. When we move out of welcome into news is going to be 3 minutes and 38 seconds this week. It's longer than normal, but it's going to be amazing. We're going to rally people. We're going to encourage them. We're going to tell them what amazing things are coming. And then out of that, we're going to move into a 2-song point-to-point block. So instead of songs three being local and 4 being point-to-point, songs 3 and 4 are both point-to-point. And we have the pleasure of all campuses receiving some worship from Mac Brock in both of those. So thank you, Mac, for joining us this coming weekend. We're so stoked to see what God does in and through you in this house, and we just honestly can't wait to have you. So we're going to kick it off song 3 with "Oh Come to the Altar." And then we're going to move from "Oh Come to the Altar" into "Surrounded," or also known as "Fight My Battles." At the end of "Surrounded," Pastor Daniel is going to take stage. So even though we have Pastor Jabin in town, we also have Pastor Daniel here. So he's going to come on stage and he's going to lead our ministry flow moments. We got 5 minutes on the flow. At the end of ministry time, Pastor is going to throw the flow to a movement weekend recap. The movement weekend recap is a single minute, just 1 minute long, so don't check out, stay engaged. It's going to go really quick. At the end of the movement weekend recap, we're going to move into Pastor still on stage doing an intro for Pastor Jabin. Pastor Jabin's going to have a full 40-minute clock. He's going to preach his heart out. He might sing a little bit. He loves to sing. He's actually, like the beginning of his craft was worship leading, and now he gets to, obviously be a senior pastor and also still expresses his gift of worship in his house. So I'm expecting we're probably going to see some healthy collaboration between Jabin and Mac because they have a great relationship, and it'd just be really cool. So be prepared for some awesome moments maybe at the end of service. And then at the end of the sermon, he's going to give the gospel. And I think that we're going to see some amazing things happen. It's always great to see what God does when we have a guest speaker and uses a new voice in our house. So at the end of the message and the gospel and all that good stuff, we have next steps, which we have slated for a minute. So holding our teams accountable of hitting that minute is going to be super important because already, as is, without the Holy Spirit moving through this flow and making it bigger or longer or whatever, we are already at 76 minutes and 19 seconds. Our goal length of a service is 75 for all the traffic overflow and the changeovers and all that stuff in Kids Point. So just so you guys know. So without further ado, I just want to encourage you. I know that most of you or a lot of you are serving during Movement Weekend, and then we're all getting prepared for next week on Monday when we start 21 days of prayer and feasting. Don't forget to eat your heart out. But I just want to encourage you that this weekend's going to be amazing. God's going to do an amazing thing in you. I want to encourage you that also next week on August 7th, we have our first ever creative night, which is just for you. We want to have a time where you're loved on, where you can find community. Pastor Daniel's going to bring an amazing, timely message that's catered just for our teams, for production, worship, and VisCom. Invite your friends. Bring people who you think would be fed by it. And don't forget to RSVP because we want to know how many people we can expect. And there's also a sign up in the RSVP specifically for breakouts. We're doing 3 breakouts this time. We're doing creative writing, we're doing the value of art, and we're doing why excellence matters. So RSVP so we know you're coming, RSVP so you can sign up for a breakout, and we can't wait to see you there. So without further ado, let's hop into this weekend's technical run-through. We're going to start at about 1 minute in the 5-minute countdown, and let's get it rolling. Love you guys.
So excited you're in the house this morning. Come on, we're going to sing this out together.
Verse 1.
The hope that I have found, like the morning sun, the older things have passed away, the new things come. So let the rays of heaven's heart illuminate my soul. The radiance of perfect grace will overtake this world. Brighter than 1,000 summers, light me up, I can't be covered. Jesus, let your love keep shining.
Instrumental.
I will let your praise keep rising. Oh.
Verse 2.
Creation finds its way, the light of dawn. Open heaven with one voice, unified in song. You realign our wandering ways, so Holy Spirit come. Your rising rises up, the praise goes on. Brighter than 1,000 summers, light me up, I can't be covered. Jesus, let your love keep shining.
Chorus.
I will let your praise keep rising. Brilliant like a million mornings, lighting up the sky above me. Jesus, let your love keep shining.
Instrumental.
I will let your praise keep rising. Oh.
Breakdown. Chorus. Build.
Brighter than 1,000 summers, light me up, I can't be covered. Jesus, let your love keep shining.
Chorus.
I will let your praise keep rising. Brighter than 1,000 summers, light me up, I can't be covered. Jesus, let your love keep shining.
Chorus.
I will let your praise keep rising. Brilliant like a million mornings, lighting up the sky above me. Jesus, let your love keep shining.
Instrumental.
I will let your praise keep rising.
Ending.
All right, sweet. We'll celebrate there. This is where Birch will introduce Mac. You'll be with 30 seconds allotted just for Fredericksburg. Everyone else, you move on as normal. Correct? Sweet. And then we'll go into greater things. He'll introduce Mac and I assume the song as well. Or maybe you'll have Mac introduce it. I don't know. However you want to figure that out. But sweet. And then we'll do greater things. So here we go. And
1,
3, 2, 1.
2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Verse.
My life is built on your faithfulness. My hope is held in your promises. I take each step with your confidence, 'cause I am yours. I am
Chorus.
yours. You never fail. You never will. I trust your name for greater things. You will come through. You always do. I trust your name
Interlude.
for greater things.
Verse.
You my brokenness. You took my shame and you buried it. What you've done, I won't forget. You never fail, you never will. I trust your name for greater things. You will come through, you always do. I trust your name for greater things. You never fail, you never will. I trust your name for greater things. You will come through, you always do. I trust your name for greater things.
Build.
I will not fear, you are with me. I've seen this fight from the victory. No power of hell can stand against me. 'Cause I've seen this fight from the victory. Will not fear, for you are with me. I missed a cue. I'm behind now. No power. Dang it. Sorry.
Chorus.
Chorus right here. That's my bad. 'Cause you never fail. You never will. I trust your name for greater things. You will come through, you always do. I trust your name for greater things. So it goes straight into the bridge right after the chorus. I've let it skip a measure. The lyrics were right, so that was on me. Cool, welcome.
1,
Awesome.
2.
So this is moving into the welcome. So we have a 3-minute welcome, just for your awareness, Mac. But in this time, during these tech run-throughs, I usually give some suggestions or tips or things to everyone who's watching. So once again, a reminder, this coming Wednesday, I'll take my hat off so you can see my eyes. This coming Wednesday is going to be Creative Night. So that is at Life Point Spotsy on August 7th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We are doing a networking kind of deal, as well as an awesome creative piece for sonically, like with music and worship and stuff like that. We want to kind of cater this audience for the church, but allow everyone to invite their friends too. So after we do worship, we're going to go into a message by our very own Pastor Daniel, and it's going to be freaking awesome. So be prepared to come and get fed and be excited and energized. And after the message, we're going to dismiss everyone and go into breakouts. So if you have not already RSVP'd, go to lifepoint.org/creative and RSVP not only to be at the event, but also RSVP for what breakout you want to have. We're going to have creative writing, the value of art, and why excellence matters. So once again, this night is just for you, all of you receiving this, watching this. Invite your friends, no matter if they love, playing instruments, singing, maybe they like to cook or paint or act, whatever. This is a place that's supposed to be a receiving ground for creatives of all kinds, for them to finally feel like they have a place to call home. We want to create community, we want to connect people, and we really just want to extend an opportunity to grow something that we've been entrusted with. So, also some reminders for this weekend. These next two songs are point to point, which means that locally, or typically song 3 is going to be local and then point to point. But before we get into those songs, we're going to news next. So if you didn't hear me at the beginning of this, there is a lot of different things that are happening in this weekend's programming, and you need to watch this from the very beginning all the way through so you don't miss, including all my silly comments at the beginning. Those are for you. You need to know them Don't scrub over it. If you've already scrubbed over it, go back and check it out. Check out the cue sheets. Get in Planning Center. Ask your production director for questions. If you're a production director, ask myself or Foodie with questions. And let's get this weekend being amazing. So we're going into news next. In this portion right here of the welcome, if you're at a receiving campus, this is where your campus pastor or the host would introduce Mac Brock and then push to news. So we're going to go into news. And then after news, we're going to come out into the song, "Oh Come to the Altar," which is point to point. Don't miss that, teams. You're coming out of news into point to point. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to keep rolling with this program.
Ending. 1, 2.
Check out LifePoint News.
Hey everyone, welcome to LifePoint. We're so glad you're here. My name is Kelsey, and I'd like to give a special shout out to our first-time guest. On your way in, you received a welcome guide. At the bottom is a connection card. Please fill that card out, and after service, stop by our first-time guest environment. We would love to meet you and answer any questions you might have. No matter who you are, God's vision for your life is to be fully alive. He wants you to know Him, find freedom, discover purpose, and make a difference. When we don't live out this vision, we can find ourselves feeling unfulfilled and lacking purpose. Growth Track is an environment specifically designed to help you discover your purpose so you can make a difference in the lives of others. Step 1 is taking place today, and if you have kids, our Kids Point environments are available while you attend. Stop by our guest services environment in the lobby or go to lifepoint.org/growth track to sign up.
What's up, students? This past weekend, we celebrated our first student conference, Movement Weekend 2019, and it was a life-changing experience, and we already can't wait for next year. Today only, we have pre-registration for Movement Weekend 2020, so head to lifepoint.org/MVMNT2020 and complete the form and let us know if you're interested. Then when our paid registration goes live, we will send you a special discount code. If you're a rising 6th grader and this is your first Sunday in the auditorium, we just want to say welcome. But a quick reminder is that there's no movement night this month. We'll be back on September 4th.
Nothing of eternal significance happens apart from prayer. It is prayer that connects our heart to the heart of God and moves His hand in our lives. Starting August 4th, for 21 days, we will intentionally seek God first, trusting in His power alone to create lasting impact in our lives, our church, and our world. Every location will be meeting Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. For locations near you, and to let us know how God has answered your prayer, visit lifepoint.org/21 days.
I'm so excited about our upcoming Serve Day on Saturday, August 10th. It's our first one since Serve Weekend 2019, and I can't wait to see what God's gonna do. In order to allow you to be a part of Saturday's 21 Days of Prayer, we're gonna be starting Serve Day at 10:30 a.m. We're gonna make a difference in our communities, and it's just the beginning. So go to lifepoint.org/serve to sign up for your campus's community project.
Have you ever thought about leading a small group? We want to extend the invitation for you to attend our small group leader training. Leading a small group isn't about being perfect. It's about serving others by giving them a safe place to connect and find community. If you're interested in learning more about joining the small groups team, you can attend small group leader training today at your campus, where we'll answer your questions and help you discover if this is the best next step for you.
As we head into this fall season and school starts back up, this is the perfect opportunity to invite the people that God has placed in your life. Who is someone that is close to you but far from God? You know, we firmly believe that one invitation has the ability to change someone's life. During this season, I encourage you to keep your head up, eyes open, and heart engaged. And don't just invite them, but bring them with you. The month of August is specifically designed to give people the opportunity to take their next steps. Thank you for making a difference in your communities and the world around you.
Thanks for watching, and welcome home.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verse.
Are you hurting and broken within? Overwhelmed by the weight of your sin? Jesus is
Verse.
calling.
bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh.
Verse.
Leave behind your regrets and mistakes. Come today, there's no reason to wait. Jesus is calling. Bring your sorrows and trade them for joy. From the ashes, a new life is born. Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ.
Bridge.
Savior, isn't He wonderful? Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Bow down before Him, for He is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen.
Repeat bridge.
Oh, what a Savior. Isn't He wonderful? Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Bow down before Him, for He is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen.
Chorus.
Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh.
Interlude. Ending. One, two. Intro. 2, 3, 4. Verse 1.
There's a table that you prepared for me in the presence of my enemy. It's your body and your blood you shed for me. This is how I fight my battle.
Verse 1. Drums in.
There's a table that you prepared for me in the presence of my enemy. It's your body and your blood you shed for me. This is how I fight my battle.
Pre-chorus. Build.
And I believe you've overcome, and I will lift my song of praise for what you've done.
Breakdown.
And this is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how.
Drums in.
This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how. In the valley, I know that you're with me. Surely your goodness and mercy follow me. My weapons are praise and thanksgiving. This is how I fight my battle.
Pre-chorus. Build.
And I believe you've overcome, and I will lift my song of praise for what you've done.
All in.
This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how.
Breakdown.
Oh, 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 oh.
Vamp. Bridge.
It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm
Bridge.
surrounded by you.
Drums in.
It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm
Bridge.
surrounded by you.
Build.
It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. Oh, it may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded
Awesome. So at this moment, Pastor Daniel's going to take stage and do a ministry moment. So Mac, be prepared. You and Pastor are going to go back into this. It's going to be super cool and hype. And Pastor's going to rally the audience and let them know, let's go back into the song talking about fighting my battles. And so that's slated for 5 minutes. So we're going to do a ministry moment for 5 minutes. And then at the end of that, Pastor Daniel is actually going to pass to a 1-minute Movement Weekend recap video. So we don't have the video yet because Movement Weekend hasn't happened. So as soon as we get that, which will be Saturday night, we will have that uploaded into Dropbox. So if you're watching this, especially those who build our CG builds, those who oversee our CG computers, all of that, make sure you have that file before you leave your house and don't have access to internet or Dropbox. So we're going to go into the Movement Weekend recap, which is 1 minute long. And out of that, Pastor Daniel is going to either still be on stage or he's going to retake stage and introduce everyone to Pastor Jabin Chavez. So Pastor Jabin will come on stage. He will preach for 40 minutes. He has the same 40-minute clock as Pastor Daniel. And at the end of that 40 minutes, he's going to give the gospel. I've been informed that there's a great possibility that him and Mac are going to build off each other and have a really awesome worship moment. And let's see what happens. So at the end of that moment, our hosts will take stage. They have 1 minute to wrap up the service. And the encouragement and goal is to make it quick, make it prompt, love people, encourage them for the week, and send them off. So a couple reminders. That's the end of programming. A couple reminders for you is, as I said at the beginning and at the welcome, at receiving campuses, you need to locally fire your 5 minutes. The fire times will be 7:58, 9:28, and 11:13. One of the things that I mentioned was syncing up at the point-to-point sync point. What I think that would actually work best, and I'll let you guys figure this out, but I think that syncing up at the news would probably actually be even better so you don't miss that flow moment out of it, and Matt can just hop into song 3 and lead the way without a seam. So if you have any questions, please contact your production director, worship director. If you're one of those two positions, let myself or Foodie know. We would love to come alongside you. So I'm grateful for you guys. This weekend is Movement Weekend. Then we have our Sunday that we just went over. And then next Wednesday, August 7th, is our very first creative night. I love you guys. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for taking the time and being with us. Have a great day.